You've seen it. You've filmed it. You've probably sent the video to 3 different people. Your dog, mid-conversation with you, suddenly tilts their head to one side. Those ears shift. Those eyes lock on. And for a moment, it's the most adorable thing you've ever witnessed. We've all got a version of this video on our phones. The head tilt is one of the most universally beloved things dogs do, right up there with the wagging tail and the post-bath zoomies. And our instinct is to see it as a quirk, a cute little personality thing. Your dog being your dog. But here's the thing, that tilt isn't random. It isn't just being cute. Behind that tilted head is a cascade of sensory processing, evolutionary biology, and social intelligence that most dog owners have never heard of. And once you understand what's actually happening, you'll realize your dog isn't just tilting their head at you, they're solving a problem in real time. Every single tilt. Here's the reality. For most of us, the head tilt needs no explanation. Dog tilts head equals dog is cute. It's the same mental shortcut as dog stares, dog loves you. We feel the emotion, so we stop looking for the mechanism. But here's the problem with that. It doesn't explain anything. If the head tilt is just about being cute, why do some breeds tilt dramatically more than others? Why does a German Shepherd tilt like a metronome while a pug almost never does? Why do dogs tilt more when you make certain sounds and not others? Why do puppies start tilting before they've ever been rewarded for it? And here's the uncomfortable one. Why do some dogs tilt their heads when something is seriously wrong with their brain? The just being cute explanation is comfortable, but it's lazy. The head tilt exists because it serves a function, actually, several functions, that help dogs survive, communicate, and navigate their world. To understand them, we need to start with the ears. Here's the part most people never think about. Your dog's ears are extraordinary. The human ear can detect frequencies up to about 20,000 hertz. A dog's ear goes past 45,000 hertz, more than double our range. But sensitivity to frequency is only half the story. The real superpower is localization, the ability to determine exactly where a sound is coming from in 3-dimensional space. Dogs do this using binaural hearing, the same 2-eared system we use. A sound arriving from the left hits the left ear slightly before the right ear and slightly louder. The brain compares those 2 signals and triangulates the source. It's why you can close your eyes and still point towards someone speaking. But here's the limitation. Binaural hearing is excellent at locating sounds on the horizontal plane, left versus right. It's much worse at locating sounds on the vertical plane, up versus down. And that's where the head tilt comes in. When a dog tilts their head, they're rotating their ears relative to the sound source. One ear goes higher, the other goes lower. By changing the geometry, the brain gets new data, a fresh comparison of arrival time and intensity at a different angle. The tilt is essentially a recalibration. It's your dog running a diagnostic on a sound they want to understand with greater precision. This is why dogs tilt more when you make unusual sounds, a whistle, a strange word, a high-pitched question. Your dog isn't confused by the sound. They're trying to localize it. They're asking their auditory system, where exactly is that coming from? And should I care? But the sound theory doesn't explain everything. Because if head tilting were purely about hearing, all breeds would do it equally. And they absolutely don't. In 2013, a psychologist named Dr. Stanley Coren at the University of British Columbia noticed an intriguing pattern. Breeds with longer muzzles, think German Shepherds, Border Collies, Greyhounds, tilt their heads significantly more often than breeds with flat faces, think Pugs, Boston Terriers, Bulldogs. Coren's hypothesis was elegant. The head tilt isn't just about hearing, it's about seeing. Specifically, about seeing past the dog's own nose. Dogs with long snouts have a significant portion of their visual field blocked by their own muzzle, particularly the lower central region, where a human face typically appears during close interaction. When you stand in front of your dog and speak, your face occupies a part of their visual field that, for a long-nosed breed, might be partially obstructed by their own anatomy. Tilting the head shifts the muzzle out of the way and gives the dog a clearer view of your entire face. This explains the breed variation beautifully. Flat-faced dogs don't have a muzzle problem. Their faces are already optimized for forward vision. so they tilt less. Long-nosed dogs are working around their own face to read you more clearly. Coren surveyed 582 dog owners and found that 71% of dogs with pronounced muzzles tilted their heads regularly during interaction, compared to only 52% of flat-faced breeds. It's not a coincidence. It's physics. Now here's the layer that complicates everything. Even assuming the head tilt began as a sensory tool, a way to hear better, to see past the muzzle, it didn't stay that way, because humans reacted to it. When your dog tilts their head, what do? You smile, you laugh, you say, "Aw." You probably give them attention, maybe a treat, maybe you reach for your phone to record it. You are, without realizing it, providing positive reinforcement for a behavior that may have started as a purely functional reflex. This creates a feedback loop. Dog tilts head, human responds positively. Dog associates tilting with reward. Dog tilts more often. Over time, the tilt becomes not just a sensory tool, but a social tool, a behavior your dog deploys strategically to elicit a response. A 2018 study in animal cognition found that dogs produce significantly more facial movements, including head tilting, when a human is facing them and paying attention than when the human's back is turned. Your dog isn't just tilting at sounds, they're tilting at you. They've learned that the tilt works. And here's the part that makes this even more interesting. The breeds that tilt the most, the long-muzzled working dogs, also happen to be the breeds most selected for human cooperation. Border Collies and German Shepherds weren't just bred to have long noses. They were bred to work closely with humans, to read human cues, to anticipate human needs. The head tilt may have started as a sensory adaptation, but it survived and amplified because it made dogs better at the one thing domestication rewarded most: connecting with us. Here's the one that breaks people's brains a little, and it's the most important part of this entire video. Not every head tilt is adorable. Not every tilt is a sensory adjustment or a social signal. A persistent head tilt, especially one that appears suddenly or alongside other symptoms, can be a sign that something is seriously wrong inside your dog's brain. The vestibular system, located deep inside the inner ear, is what controls balance and spatial orientation. It's a tiny, intricate structure filled with fluid and hair cells that tell the brain which way is up. When the vestibular system malfunctions, the brain receives conflicting signals about the body's position in space. The result can be a persistent head tilt, loss of balance, circling, stumbling, and nystagmus, a rhythmic flickering of the eyes. Vestibular disease is more common in older dogs and can come on suddenly and terrifyingly. One day, your dog is fine. The next day, their head is tilted 45 degrees, and they can't walk straight. It looks like a stroke. It's often treatable, but it needs to be caught quickly. And it's not just vestibular disease. Ear infections that spread to the middle or inner ear can cause head tilting. Neurological conditions can cause it. Even something as simple as a foreign object lodged in the ear canal, a grass seed for example, can produce a head tilt as the dog tries to relieve the discomfort. Here's the rule. If your dog's head tilt is occasional, symmetrical, responsive to sounds and interaction, and the dog seems otherwise healthy, you're looking at normal behavior. If the tilt is persistent, asymmetrical, always the same side, or accompanied by balance issues, vomiting or eye flickering, stop filming and call your vet. The difference between acute quirk and a medical emergency can be measured in hours. Let's bring it all together. Your dog's head tilt started as a sensory tool, a way to localize sounds in three-dimensional space by changing the geometry of binaural hearing. It's a real-time acoustic diagnostic. It's also a visual adjustment, particularly for long-muzzled breeds who need to shift their nose out of the way to read your face clearly. Stanley Coren's 2013 research showed the pattern is consistent and measurable. It's become a social signal, positively reinforced across thousands of interactions. It's now part of your dog's communication toolkit, deployed strategically when you're paying attention. And in some cases, it's a warning sign. A persistent, one-sided tilt can indicate vestibular disease, ear infection, or neurological issues that need immediate attention. So the next time your dog tilts their head at you, don't just reach for your phone. Watch. Is the tilt responding to a sound? Is it symmetrical? Is your dog bright and engaged? If yes, congratulations. You're witnessing one of the most elegant sensory behaviors in the animal kingdom. Your dog isn't just being cute. They're solving a problem in real time, using hardware that evolution spent millions of years refining. If you learned something today, if you're going to watch your dog's head tilt with completely different eyes from now on, hit that subscribe button. We're uncovering the hidden science behind the behaviors you see every single day. Drop a comment. Has your dog ever had a head tilt that made you stop and wonder? And, this is important, have you ever noticed whether your dog tilts more to one side than the other? Tell me below. Your observation might help another owner. Thanks for watching. And the next time your dog cocks their head at the sound of your voice, know that they're not just listening to you. They're triangulating you, with ears, eyes, and 15,000 years of evolutionary engineering, all firing at once. That's instinct.